All right, can you hear me now? All right, man. What's happening, people? What's up? Waiting on Will, man. He trying to get in. He having some problems with his he having some problems, some issues with his technology, but he's coming. So this is Conscious Community Connection, where we keep the community connected. This is Tygar Motivation in, and I got my brother here from another mother, Mr. Pelmore, Mr. Mark Pelmore. He's in. And we will be joined. Let me see if I can get Brother Kyle's in. Let me see if I can get him in. Let's see. He should be coming in there. We're going to be having a good discussion tonight, man, about building the community up and creating more jobs. So I got another one coming in here with Will. Let's see. Mark, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, Brother James.
Will.
He must be on his phone and his computer.
Yeah. I'm gonna take out one. Whichever one come up first, we're gonna take out, man. But yeah, it's the technology, man. Technology. Come on, brother. All right, that one dropped. He down to one now. Where we at? 50 to 1 odds. Come on, Will. Will gonna have to do like me, man. He got to upgrade that phone. There you go. What's up, Brother Kyles?
Hey, I've been trying to connect for I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I should have probably. I do most of my Zoom calls on a, but I should have used a laptop.
It's okay, man. It's all good. I was just doing the announcements, let them know that this Conscious Community Connections, where we keep the community connected, 104.5 FM. The views expressed here on this station are those of the speakers and not of the station. 104.5 FM is a socialist forum, and our views does not represent what the station is about. Now, with that being said, we got special guests, Mr. Will Kyles. Very hard man to catch. You see him around town, he like a ghost, man. He there, then you turn around and tell him, where you go?
I don't know. Hey, I'm pretty excited to be here.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, man. It's been a long time. Me and you've been trying to connect for a minute. And we got Mr. Pelmore in there, Mr. Mark Pelmore with Business Elevator.
What's good, good people?
Yeah. That's right, Mr. Pelmore. So that brother right there, he works hard on trying to build this whole infrastructure for businesses. So I thought he'd be great. He'd be a great add-on with this whole conversation piece of the Black Chamber of Commerce and everything that you do. So I don't know. I think we lost your image just now, Will. I don't know what's going on with your camera.
No. We're good. We're good. I just wanted to get comfortable because I think this is going to be a great show. I'm actually pretty excited about you all inviting me to the show and look forward to continuing to work in I believe consciousness is important. And that's one of the focuses of this year, at least for me personally, and then as a business owner and such.
Okay. Well, man, you are ready to open up the box, so you might as well go into it, man. Let's tell them about yourself, man. Tell them what you do. I mean, I told them you the Black Chamber of Commerce and what else, but go ahead. Could you elaborate a little bit more about what you do?
Well, I am blessed to and privileged to serve in a number of capacities, whether it's council member, assistant pastor, Champaign County Black Chamber of Commerce president. But a day to day, most of my day is spent either on calls like this or actually running my own business. I have a business with my wife. We have an e-commerce business where we sell primarily light grocery items, office supplies, things like that. So that kind of keeps us busy. Of course, we have, children, as you all know, that keeps you on your toes. But really, as I spoke about early, just about really one of the major things that I'm thinking about is empowerment this year.
Wow, man, you do a lot, man. How you find time for all this stuff, man?
You
I
know,
can,
I was thinking the
Mhm.
Lord must have you know, it's just it's right now. It's our season to do work, and we do work until we're gonna do this until God says come on home.
Okay, so you make time for things that are important to you.
Well, we have to. I mean, when you look around the community, there's a lot of bright spots in the community. Of course, we have
Mhm.
challenges. I like to think that you build off the bright spots. You don't ignore the challenges.
Right,
You don't ignore them. But as we continue to evolve as human beings, I mean, you look around. You can't you can't just talk about the problem. You
right,
have to actually take some action, make some steps to play your role in whatever you feel like that is to better, leave the world better than you came in.
right, right. Well, you doing your part, man. You could definitely say that because councilman, chamber, man, you doing a lot. Um, go into the role of the Black Chamber of Commerce and where you see is at, where you want to take it. Um, and like you said, some of the issues that we see in here, well, I'll let you start there. I'm gonna let's go
So
into that.
So obviously, you see, I'm pretty excited. I love these type of dialogues for thinking people. Not to make that, I don't want people to read into that too much, but
Right,
well, maybe if you do, I don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt. If I'm not politically correct, please forgive me. I just want to be able to just speak what I mean. Too many times we live in this politically correct world where you
right,
just really can't say, but the reality in the beginning, we really started off as advocates, great advocates. A business pops up and, you say, hey, let's support this business, and we're going to, that Black Chamber of Commerce historically has done a great job at that. We do mixers. Obviously, with COVID, we weren't able to do that
right.
as much. And we're really, working on our virtual space. So these type of conversations really, yeah, on this space, I believe that the WWW is very powerful and it's still
Mm,
very underutilized as Mark Pelmore would tell you, always telling you about StreamYard, things just Anchor. I remember just always it's underutilized and I think you both know that. And you do a great job at leveraging the internet. So where we
right.
see ourselves right now, there, the thing that God just kept putting on my mind is um, keeping business in business,
Yeah.
like staying in business. So, you do the ribbon cutting, you get excited, right? Everybody's like,
Mhm.
oh, and then, that journey begins. And then all of a sudden, 30, 60, 90 days, the business is closed down, right?
Right,
And so
right.
beginning to ask those questions, why was so much work put into, because some of these business ventures are thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
Tens of thousands of dollars. So a business owner jumps in and then less than the 90 days to a year later, they're closed. So it really became apparent in my mind that we should be focusing on and having conversations around staying in business. And then
Mm,
as God would have it, because I'm a business owner, I started seeing some of the positive things that God has blessed us to do, and then some of the things that God has challenged us to do personally as business owners, such as keeping better track of receipts,
right.
paperwork. Like a lot of people, again, goes back to that Black Chamber piece. A lot of people are in love with the product that we deliver, right?
Right.
Whether it's chicken, whether it's hair, whether it's construction. A lot of times we're really, really into the product. We're in love with that. But the
Mm,
business of being in business
mhm.
is where a lot of people struggle at. And that's across the board. But as a Black chamber and as a Black business person, it's critical that we're in the business of being in business. And so receipts, paperwork, taxes.
Man.
Taxes. Did I say that word? Taxes.
Yeah.
So the PPP comes out, and we have business owners that PPP came out. You all know, and a lot of business owners, we did know that there were challenges across the nation with let's just face it, African Americans were not business owners, were not getting their share of PPP.
Right.
But then after the policy is changed, we start looking at the word taxes, filing your taxes. Did I say the word again? I think I said that a lot.
Oh,
taxes.
Don't remind me, man. I got corp. I'm doing the balance sheet now. Yeah, I got to finish up, but go ahead.
And reason why that's important is obviously for your own records. You need to know if your business is growing, where the financial health of your business is, and taxes is a part of that.
Right.
But if you're applying for these grants, loans, all that stuff, first thing they're going to ask for is, one of the outside of your introduction is your taxes.
They want to see three years. I just talked with Axion, and I had a meeting with them. They're going to want to see like 3 years. If you don't have 3 years, bank statements, and they're going to look at these things. So what you're saying is very real. And I'm sure that Mark agree. I already know Mark agree. I already know.
Mr. Bookman himself wrote 7 million books himself. I sat in some of the sessions.
So check this out, Mr. Cowles. You brought up the word taxes, and you brought up the phrase, the business of being in business. Let's bag that up a little bit. First and foremost, there's a difference between a micro business and a business.
Yes, sir.
We have gotten in a position where just because we hustle out our trunk, hustle out of our garage, sell mixtapes, do hair wherever, we in business. Really, that is not a business. Specifically, if you do not register with the state.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
So, I've learned that people that are hustling believe they're in business because that's what they do and they get paid for it. So there's no knock on that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start talking procurement, you start talking government contracts or state contracts or global contracts, being in business is not enough. You got to be able to prove you are in some relationship with some state, which means you paying taxes.
Okay.
So there go that word again. And really, it is a sifting type process.
Mm-hmm.
We can tell who the legit businesses is just by going to the state and pulling up businesses. You got an EIN number, you got a DUNS number,
right,
or something like that can track you anywhere in the world. So if you're saying you a business, those two numbers should be like either readily available or something that you have memorized already. I don't have mine memorized, but I do have them where I can get access to them like super quick. Digital or hard copy?
That's something that we probably need to start. I would love to come on multiple times because I think you just package, the business of being business, and you start talking about, we have to explain to people. So it's okay if you have a side hustle, right? Mm-hmm. But when you start wanting to scale up, when you start wanting to, as you talk about getting into government procurement, when you start wanting, even to be honest with you, Mark, even suppliers, like, when you start wanting to, say, for instance, you sell, you do crochet or something like that.
Right.
They want to see, not everybody, but a lot of times when you start talking about, working with big time suppliers, they actually want to make sure that you're a business. And I give you a great example. There's some places in Chicago where we were buying products from, and to the average person, they just look like in fact, they just look like actual stores. But in order to get into the store, you had to have your business license.
Right.
Like you couldn't shop at the store for supplies and products without having your business license. An average person, I don't know if you all are familiar with 71st and you know what I'm talking about. So but it's a place like that, right? But then there are other places where the general public can't go in without having their business license.
Right.
And a lot of people buy candy. A lot of candy stores have been made, off of 71st Street, but
sure did, boy.
there are a lot, but there are these little small things around town, around the city, where you can't go in there without having those licenses and certificate, not even certifications, just having your business license, having your EIN and all. Those are basic things. But in order to have that, you have to file, you gotta be ready to file taxes and things along that nature. But it's okay to have a side hustle. But just remember that as you're growing and evolving and you want to get into other areas, you do have to have all the things that you're talking about.
Right.
So let me ask you a question then. Is it that what you seeing with the businesses? So you say they go out within 90 days. They go out of business within 90 days. Now, those businesses that open up the doors and were operational, what made them go out then? It was just, like you said, it was the love of the product and they didn't pay attention to the business. Was it mismanagement? Or is it a lack of knowledge? What would you say, particularly, just to your opinion?
I'd say that you go in without knowing your numbers from the first place in general. Okay. And it's not, again, I would say that when I got into business, first, I got in business. I got in love with selling products, right?
Right.
I wasn't looking at spreadsheets and looking at, all the cost. I was in love with, I had a basic understanding of what it was to be in business. But, when you start adding up all of those costs, particularly when you go brick and mortar,
right.
it's really a lack of knowledge. And you go in, you got a dream, and everyone has a dream. I was there. I'm still there, right?
Right.
I think we're all there.
Right.
But you go in and you have a general understanding of, okay, this is going to cost me this, and this, your rent and things along that nature. But then all these other extra little costs start sneaking in. Like, maybe you have to have a license to do this, or maybe your insurance costs, not let alone labor. You're talking about, payroll costs or payroll taxes. And then let's say, you need labor, but you're now trying to find out, you're already starting off with a shoestring budget in the first place. Right. So you're trying to make the business happen off of, just trying to make it work. So you've got people, there, but they're not consistent. Right. So that means that you're not consistent. And so you're judged. So there are a lot of factors in business that you don't consider when you first enter into that arena. And so once those costs start hitting you, and then you don't have the customers, the traffic, marketing, that's a whole different conversation. I know Mark's got it. Mark, that marketing, build it and they shall come. They may come in the first 30 days, but what are you doing to keep your customers and growing your customer base? Right. And so, those are things that when you start off, most of us, unless we come from a business background, never really even think about it. You just never do. You're not trained in that. You're not trained to think about what you just talked about, Mark. Micro business versus small business versus, what do you call it? Monopoly. You're not. You go
big
in there
box business. Everybody want to be Walmart, but Walmart is a whole different animal. That's a big box business. They could plant a Walmart in any location, and at some point in time, they will be successful.
So doing they have, I mean, it's a lot, like a lot of different angles that you could go with it, but it's also that transition. So let's say you did hair in your, privately, you do it out of your space or whatever the case may be. Well, then once you go to like a brick and mortar and you're doing it, you're doing it out of a brick and mortar, your costs are going up extremely. Right. Now, your customer base doesn't necessarily understand that because you've been doing hair for $45 for whatever. Let's just say $45 is the base cost. Well, now that you go into a brick and mortar because of all of your costs attached to it, now you got to charge $75. And there's this shift because now the people are like, how are you charging 75? I didn't get any more braids, or I didn't cut any more hair. Right. And so the cost of being in business goes up. Then you're talking about regulations. You had a barbecue and you run a restaurant or something like that. At home, catering business, you're not looking at code dates, not like that. You go into a business and now if you overbuy unintentionally you buy, or the customers don't come in like you thought. Well, you can't keep that you're not supposed to. Yeah, you can't keep that block of cheese, past the expiration date once you crack the seal. You gotta throw that thing away. And so that's waste. So these little small things that you don't really think, nobody thinks about that, not going in at least. I don't know. What do you all think?
No, you're right, man. And I see a lot of them skip out on the marketing. They be like, nah, I don't need that. But marketing is a key piece, man. You got to reach your client, the customer base. So marketing is key. And especially when you just opening up, man, I think you want to over market. I don't know if there's any such thing as under market. If you're gonna do something like that, I will be at every gathering, every radio station. I'll be talking on everybody channel. I don't know.
But y'all talking about marketing as in brand recognition and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You get to that point after you have done market research. So you know who your segmented customer is.
Yeah,
what channels you reach them on. So if you haven't done no bare bones research, you're not even gonna know how or who your customer is.
That's true.
So you jump into business just based on an idea.
Yeah.
Now, when I say an idea, something you think that works.
Right.
Because it hasn't been proved as a concept yet. So that means you don't really know if it solves a problem. You don't really know who's going to buy it. And then you really don't even know what your price point is. So those three things alone is a business waiting to fail.
You all do realize that this conversation is like, we're talking, it's not complicated, but I'm going to say this is like level 400. We almost never talk about business in this capacity. And from this context,
no. You know why that's the case? Because business is seen as a glamorous process, and it's not. Opening a business is hard work. Maintaining a business is even harder, and then scaling a business is even harder.
So let me give you a quick example of what happened when in our beginning business. I had a business that was really actually, it was a basically customer. It was a service we provided. We went out and we picked people up for their medical appointments, took them to a doctor's appointment. Very simple business model.
Medical card. Yeah.
It was money in the bank, right?
Right.
Well, that wasn't the problem. The partnership was the problem, right? And the reason why the partnership was a problem was not because we didn't start off as friends. We didn't have agreements in writing. We thought, hey, we get along. We've done on some ventures together. And because we didn't have those agreements, we didn't have those costs outlined. We didn't have. It was just like we were going the business. We were going as was. We were trying to manage the business as from a day-to-day standpoint. We didn't have business meetings, you know, in the sense that we sit down like this and talk about, you know, what's the best practices,
Right.
and a great business where we had the customer base folded really quickly. It didn't take that long, you know. Then I got into another business, and you know, it was e-commerce. And what I realized was we were spending too much money on coaching. We were spending so much money on coaching education that we really didn't have money to buy products. And so it's kind of like to buy the real estate course, and then you start learning like different stuff, like things that you don't know along the way, like your credit to debt ratio. Right. So what I mean by that is your credit card, they don't like you to spend over 30% of that total balance that you have. So, you know, if you spend, I remember one time we just didn't know about spreading and managing your resources. Like I said, we knew how to do it, but we're gonna pay. We take $18,000 out of credit. We pay $18,000 back. Well, I didn't know that. You know, I didn't have this radio show to tell me that. Wait a second, you want to spread that out, and then secondly, you want to. We pay $18,000 on, and it wasn't that we were behind or anything. We paid it right out. They closed the credit card out a week later after we paid 18 grand. So those type of conversations about like what are the rules of the game, how to spread your cash flow. I mean, cash flow is king. Cash flow, marketing, those basic concepts. Everybody has the best intentions. I really do believe that, most people. But if you don't understand, again, this seems like very basic to a lot of people who have been in for a while. But when you're new, it's actually not. It's really not, you know. And you could have, my dad was an entrepreneur, but it wasn't like I was watching his books, you know. Yeah. You know, what's the difference between an accountant and a tax preparer? What's the difference between a tax preparer and a tax strategist? Yeah. Those are things that you kind of learn along the way. It's no real, I didn't have that, like, it wasn't like it was like I could go to a place and find that out. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a product of the grace of God. And I do say that proudly, because without God, you know, these little things that eat away, like cash flow, managing cash flow. Right. That's a big deal in itself. You know, you see a lot of, again, those are things that business owners, you don't go in. It's not like you took a business course in high school. It's not like, you know, you may not have even majored. And then even if you major, you get an MBA in business, you go to B school. Being in business and theory are two different things. Two different things, man. Yes, I agree. Man, you hitting up on some real points right now here. I'm glad we recording this, because usually we get, you know, they could go back and research this, because everything you saying is real. And I would only thing I would add in that is, you know, a lot of us are, like you said, we ready to get out there and push this product. Like, man, I got the hottest chicken sandwich in the world. But take your time, build up business credit, get everything in the background set up, so when it do take off, you already ready. You could you can learn a lot by, I mean, it's plenty of YouTube channels and things like that. Just the basics of business. One of the things I always recommend is if you find a channel or someone that you like, you try not to listen to like 75 different people, because it's all perspective, right? Right. You try to take maybe one or two people, and you kind of follow them and follow that track. You know, one of the, you know, you when you're starting business, and it's an idea. You really write up. It's like a flow chart, right?
Right.
And you just start writing these things, and you can call the Champaign County Black Chamber of Commerce. You can inbox, email, phone call, and that's what we're here for, is to have these type of conversations, as opposed to a lot of times people think that it's about the business. It's money is important in a business, right? But it's often a symptom, like lack of cash flow, lack of resources are a symptom of other things. It's other things not necessarily going right, that your cash flow, because you could burn through a lot of cash pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You don't know how to manage it right. Yep.
What happens if you go to a especially like we a lot of our businesses, as you all know, are in the restaurant business, and the inspector comes out, you done got everything good to go, and then you had a public health come out, and they do their final inspection, and they figure out that your your window seal is not high enough. It's not high enough, and you might have to tear the floor out because you might have to tear the floor out, and you got to do all these adjustments just to make the window seal higher, or the sink is not where it's supposed to be. It's 2 inches off.
Right.
Like those are the type of, again, what do you want to do when you're starting a business? You want to do research, Mark. When I started talking, I get excited about business because I'm living it.
Right.
I'm living it. I'm living as God would have it. I'm living the successes, and I'm also living the mistakes. You have to live through that. Like, we had a cash flow issue a few years ago. It was 1 month. It took us about 6 months to a year to recover. Like, ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
It took us 6 months to 1 year off of one missed detail.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that. Like, it's you have to, if you have one bad month in business, it may, I don't have the numbers on this, but it's not like it just, you just sell more product. It don't work like that. So that's why I believe that God has put, like, the business. There's plenty of people that can go and say, hey, that's why I believe in what you're doing with this broadcast. That's why I believe, Mark, what you're doing when you talk about, business elevator. I really believe that that's the place that a lot of small businesses should start and get the education, and then learn outside the classroom. Don't stop, because the class is over. Do your research after the class.
What'd you say to that, Mark?
So I appreciate the shout out, Mr. Cows. But let me say this, and hear me when I say it.
All right.
So one of the things that I talk about in any class that I'm teaching is something called adjacent moves.
Wait, say it again.
And a lot of people, adjacent moves.
Adjacent moves. Okay.
Yeah, adjacent moves.
I got
you.
So
basically what I'm saying is, when you start an idea or business or a project or whatever, if you look around what you're doing, I'm talking about like a whole circumference of what you're doing, there is something similar to what you're doing that is different, that you could be doing both. And now we're talking about multiple streams. And a lot of people, especially in our neighborhoods, we put all our eggs in one basket with the whole Easter thing coming up. And if all your eggs is in one basket and that basket gets crushed, now you're starting from zero again. Not only that, let's say we have families that have businesses, and then the 1 or 2 people that was full-time in the business pass away. Now the people that's behind them don't know how to really run the business. So they start from ground zero again. All I'm getting to is the point of, in our community, we start at zero too many times over and over.
That's real crazy. That's real talk.
Business should be ideal, scale, legacy. That's what business should be. Ideal, scale, legacy. Till you get to that legacy point, everything should be built towards scaling the business. Your slice of pie should be growing. Too many times we have got comfortable with a small slice of pie.
Right.
Therefore, when somebody else comes into our neighborhood and buys up the block, we mad.
Right.
But the block been sitting there tore down for years.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. More realer. I think when you talked about why businesses aren't succeeding, and more aren't growing, I think it's because the conversation never gets to what you're talking about, Mark, and what we're talking about today, the business of being in business. I think it always stays on the surface of getting more African Americans, especially if we're talking Black-owned businesses, to get us to support, and that helps. But from a numbers standpoint, from a business standpoint, it helps. It motivates you when we see our people supporting us and things along that. That's a great thing. But the conversations just stay there. And because they stay there, they never evolve to what we're talking about. And so if you just stay there as far as support and advocacy without really getting to these finer details, that's where the growth is always going to be hindered, because you only get so much time. So I'll never talk about, paperwork. Well, what does that even mean? What if
what is the license?
Yeah, I mean, licenses and things like that. You don't need a PhD. You can pay people now to do your, I use a service called Fiverr. Actually got a trademark off of Fiverr. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
I was just using it primarily for marketing. And putting together marketing pieces and stuff like that. And I just looked out. So if you're a big stock guy, this what got my attention, Mark. So Fiverr was on the Super Bowl. So they had a commercial. So I was like, let me look at. So Fiverr, for anybody, it's like a freelance service. It's kind of like Upwork. There's a lot of ones. Rabbit. It's one.
TaskRabbit, Fiverr. Yeah.
But what got my attention one day was that Fiverr was in the Super Bowl. They had a Super Bowl commercial, and Super Bowl commercials aren't cheap. So me being in the stock class, I looked at the stock. In 2019, Fiverr was about $39 a share, and today Fiverr is somewhere around 250. I haven't checked it, but it was around. Last time I checked, it was about 250 a share. Now, how does that connect back to this conversation?
Right.
Fiverr services are getting better. Like back in the day, it was they were fine, but people would say, yeah. Nowadays, Fiverr services, they're increasing what you can have access to. So even you're not. What I'm getting at is, what if you're not good at writing proposals and this stuff is going over your head? Like, I'm not a writer. I got an F in English. For a reasonable cost, you can go to Fiverr and they can write you a business plan. They can write you a business plan for $50. That business plan could help you secure financing, but more importantly than securing financing, it can help you have a roadmap for your business. Because a lot of times people just use business plans and they only associate them with, financing, getting money from the bank.
Right.
But the reality is, it's so much more to it. You can use that business plan. It's really for you, and it's a roadmap. So you can get services like trademarking. You could do marketing. Say, for instance, all the things that you have, you may feel like you don't have the skill or the time. You could actually work with freelancers and help leverage that. You may work with somebody. You can go to University of Illinois or Parkland and see if they have interns available. You could do that. You could there are services, working with the city of Champaign, go into their business development piece. You could go to the SBDC. You could go to Latanya Webb. With the University of Illinois, who will sit down and direct you to a million services. You don't have to do this all alone, is what I'm getting at, because we throw these things out. I do that, but the reality is you can get those services or help. If it's free, I'm not going to lie to you. The freer it is, a lot of times you do have to do a lot of the legwork. They're not going to do it for you, but they will direct you to the right. You have to do your research. If it's not paid, you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You are gonna have to do your homework afterwards. But that's better than
plug that right there. Put a pin. Let's put a pin on that one, Mr. Kaus. So, what if we had a system that allowed all the Black-owned businesses in Champaign to connect in one place? Do you think that the crab in the barrel syndrome continue to grow?
You know what? Yes and no. All right, I'm going to answer that no and yes. It depends upon no and yes, because it depends upon your perspective. Like if I had a philosophy, Jay-Z said something one day. He said, I'm quoting Jay-Z. He said, what he basically, just to keep it PG, he said, what you eat don't make me nothing. And I have that philosophy. So if you got that philosophy, like, hey, Mark, Mr. Corbin, I don't know if I can call you Tygar but if you had a philosophy that, hey, you know what you eat ain't putting no, hey, go get your bread, go make your money, go make your prosperity. If it starts there, I find that being able to have that conversation ahead of time, and as long as you always keep that as a central theme, then you know what? It really kind of blocks out some of that mentality. I mean, it'll always exist, right? Because people, crabs in a barrel is a limited. It comes from a deficit mindset. The thought process and belief is that there's not enough for us all to prosper, so I have to pull you down to come up. But you look at if it's enough people and you set the tone and just say, hey, if you eat. I said this publicly at a city council meeting in a different role. I said, I really don't care if white people eat. In fact, I suggest that you do eat, right?
Right.
I was a Black man trying to make mine, and don't get in the way of me making mine. And I said it publicly. Like, people looked at me and they were like, what are you talking about? I was like, because what you eat don't make me nothing. Like, I'm happy doing me. You be happy doing you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't mean to go there, but I think that I think that you hit a very important point, setting the tone that I really don't care if you know what, I want to support you as a business person, but I legitimately, your success is not going to hurt my success, because God put us on this earth and we have such a deficit mindset when it comes to that. He put us on this earth and we're still fighting over the same small resources. And this conversation gets so much bigger than this, because racism is a deficit mindset. And it's a deficit mindset that Christians participate in. Heck, slavery started in the church. I mean, let's just be honest about that. Now, I don't believe that Jesus was like, hey, do this, but let's be honest that, after the picnic, it was a picnic, right? and it was a church approved, process, whatever. And so, but literally when we participate in this deficit mindset, I come from a godly side. We're literally telling the creator that you didn't make enough. You really didn't make enough for me to be able to succeed. Like when you created me, you didn't make enough for me. So I got to get on Mark. I got to go rain on Tygar so that he could, I got to get on into him and I got to cheat him out of it. Man, I do. Listen, why you think that I go to the business services and support? I go to the ribbon cutting because there's so much work out there that, to be honest with you, if we're going to be successful, then we have to work together and we have to support. Hey, you could start another Black Chamber of Commerce and I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. The only thing that would make me upset is if you wasn't doing it the right way. Like, I wouldn't care if you started another Black Chamber of Commerce because it's not enough. It's only so much we all got to pull together. Like, there are so many other, like that deficit mindset is so prevalent that's why sometimes those great ideas get killed. You just hit the pen and the hammer is, man, what you eat don't make me nothing.
Hey, exactly. Hold that. I gotta read this. Hold your thought. Let me read this right quick, and I got to introduce Will again to make sure they know who we're talking with.
Okay.
So this is Conscious Community Connection, where we keep the community connected. This is our Business Monday. Well, this is our first week. Every first week in the month, we want to cover some Black business. We want to look into Black businesses and see what it is. So Conscious Community Connection, where we keep the community connected. 104.5 WRFU FM. The views expressed here are those of the speakers and not of WRFU, UC, IMC, or any socialist forum. These are our views and our perspectives. And with that said, I got Mr. Will Kyles from the Black Chamber of Commerce here in Champaign. He's our guest. We also got Mr. Pelmore from Business Elevator. And we are today discussing the role of the Black Chamber of Commerce, and Will has been elaborating his role where you can contact him, and he'd love to have these discussions. You could tell already, man, the man is he's a business fanatic. So, and that's good.
I love that. I really am. Like, as God has had it, I really, really, really love these like conversations that lead to action.
He's a strategist.
That lead to action. That's the last part. Take action. Don't be going to all these seminars and workshops and collecting all these binders and you'll lose me there because I'll be like, well, dang, you got all the information right before you. You just got to open up the book and apply it. Right. Like that. This is special to me because we get to share. Like I said, there are plenty of you can do advocacy, and that's great. You can talk about business opportunities as far as this restaurant business owners need that. We'll never stop doing that. I love Mark Pelmore that you do that. I know there's a young lady in town, Mariah Madison. She does that. Yes. So
Buy Black Shambana.
Yes, sir. So more power to all of us that do that. I love it.
Definitely mention her. And you're right.
But more power. Like, I love the fact that we do that. But I think that this is where we never get here. And because we never get here, those businesses that we're advocating for, don't necessarily they never, because, and then, oh man, I wish we had more time. Like, talk about expansions. I mean, it's so many things that we can talk about when it comes to business. We never get to, it's like an architect that will only talk about, the drawings, but never draws anything because, it takes precision, it takes talent, it takes, I didn't say resources. It takes an application of technique. Right. You want to teach a basketball player how to play. A lot of people just playing the game. You ever play with a chess player and they just playing chess, moving pieces around, don't know what they're doing? But then when you play with a master chess player, they doggone it, they didn't beat you in one move. You didn't move one, and they beat you you're like, whoa, wait, they saw you lost 5 moves ago.
Yep. They 8 moves ahead of you. Heather had a question for you. She had a question. She said, you talked about this already when you talked about going to the Black Chamber of Commerce. Now I got a question because she was asking about tools or places you could recommend for business coaching. So she's looking for more coaching. And I'm gonna add this. What's the difference between the Black Chamber of Commerce and the minority business commerce?
I think where when you use the word minority, minority is the emphasis is all minorities.
So that's women. That could be white women too.
That could be white women. That can include white women. It could be Black Chamber. I feel like, we had an opportunity to kind of change that years ago, but I think that too often that word, when we refer to ourselves as minorities, is diluted, and because it means so much. I worked on initiatives where we fought. I thought we were all on the same. We fought tooth and nail, and then when you look at the numbers, well, we're not necessarily, Black, and so Black businesses and Black folks are not represented, and so that's why we stayed with the word Black, because it's specific, and because minority isn't specific enough, we never get to the goal that we really, that's how we can have so many initiatives out there. And because they reach minorities, that means that you opened up it's power in words. And I'm not really a wordsmither, but it's the difference between small business, minority business, owned business, and Black owned business. You're really talking specifically. Do we turn, if a white person came, no, we just say we're, as Boyce Watkins says, we're Black first. And we want to talk about Black issues, as opposed to just saying minority is too broad. I would love to, I don't have a specific coaching service, but I would love to sit down with the individual. I just did this, actually been working with the business, and, we get on Zoom calls together. We get on Zoom calls together. We get on different phone calls. Sometimes we meet in person, but Zoom has allowed us to be able to connect with people without the travel. And so, person has specific issues, we go through a process, and then after that, learning more about the business, then we say, hey, you might want to do this, you might want to do that. Go talk to Mark, his session starting up in another month, or with different things that we can do to help. We never beat anybody over the head, which we a lot of people don't like. One of the craziest things is that we never beat up anybody over the head for membership. Now, memberships are, as far as money and dollars, are important, but the reality is, we just love helping people.
Man, and so, talk about that. How do you get a membership? So we contact you for that, right? And
you can go to the website. Yeah, you can contact me, but actually, as of this year, we just made the process simple. Go to our website, membership, and you pick the one that you want, and you go with it. Memberships help be able to those dollars, because I don't take a salary. Nobody on the board takes a salary. So those dollars go into doing that research and finding those either programs or tools that can be used to help businesses grow. So we don't take a salary, which obviously that's a personal thing, but it does allow us to be able to help businesses in different ways, on a case-by-case scenario. So that's where having those dollars helps, But if you're a day one business, and you know, it used to do this, we used to have $5 memberships. And what I started realizing was that was kind of a little bit of disingenuous on my side to say that to do all of this work would be worth $5. I should have just said it was for free. I would have did more service. So the memberships are what they are, you know, but that's after years and years of serving. But we're never going to turn. We've never turned anyone away. We've never turned a conversation down. Again, free means that you just have to do more on your side as far as homework, and really no membership. Really no membership is going to be able to. It's never going to replace the hard work that you as an entrepreneur are going to put in specifically to your business.
Right. But I see advantage in becoming a part of this because it creates that network. And I think that's key, man. You want to get, and me, Mark, you know, both of us are real. We've been pushing this whole network thing, getting this business structure, getting this ecosystem set up. So that's why I was saying it's time. We're going to have to all sit down and, you know, we got to incorporate what you're doing, what's going on, and what we're trying to do out here. Heather J, she's not here right now. She'll be on actually next week. No, Alicia will. And what she's doing, you know, so we can all work together and see this happen, because I have been in communities where they had a strong Black business community that was there, you know, in Texas. I seen it in Louisiana. They had 30% Black businesses, man, in a little town the size of Rantoul. And it was booming. I mean, booming, man. Had 2 malls and everything. I said, I can't believe it. It's only 17,000 people here. How are they able to keep all this open, right? So we got to build this out. And I think it's up to us, the ones who, you know, who working in the community, or want to, you know, whether you're a leader in the community or whatever, however you're a thought leader or whatever, it's up to us to make this happen.
I do believe in that.
We got to also train this next generation behind us. See, and I believe, you know, by me working with First Followers, and I talk to these young guys, man, and they don't know, you know, they doing street stuff because they just don't know better. And, you know, when I talk to them and say, hey, man, I could show you how to set up business credit, I could do that. I actually walked 2 individuals through and helped them set up where they could go buy houses. You know, they didn't even think they could buy a house. And you know, we talked about that, like, this is how your credit, you've got 5 different types of credit, you know, closed credit, revolving credit, open credit, how this work, how do you get your credit score up? So I think we dropping the ball, and they need to talk to guys like you and Mark. They need them in front of them on a regular basis. You know, we was talking about, because y'all left it off with crabs in a barrel. And I heard something real interesting. Now, in their natural habitat, crabs crawl to the side and they crawl over things and they move over things, and that's how they function. But when you take them out the natural habitat and you limit the resources, that's when it becomes a negative, right? You know, but so the idea is we're gonna have to put these crabs back in the natural environment, you know, where they moving to the side and they doing their crab hands.
But, you know, that's an interesting, that's why education, I believe, you know, in God, family, education. And that's where education is failed in some ways and is limited in others, is that, so biology is a big deal, right? When you start studying ecosystems. And why this goes to your point. We started studying the geese. Like, okay, I'm weird. Like, so we're studying the geese, and we notice like geese are thriving in our community. Like, dang, you know, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
but they don't have a natural predator, and so they have access to resources, whatever they need, water, whatever, grass, worms, whatever they eat. So left alone, they succeed, right? And when you talk about the crabs, the difference between a crab, a geese, a goose, geese, a human, and a human being is that we don't have to be the crab. A crab's only going to be a crab. A goose is only going to be a goose. As Denzel would say, a fish is going to be a fish. But a man, a woman can outthink and outperceive. We don't have to stay in that mentality. Right. We have a choice. And we got to choose. They've got to make a choice that, you know what? Why am I pulling Mark's leg? I don't even want what he got. Here's the deal. What he has is his. It may not even be a help. I didn't pull Mark's leg to find out that what he has is only meant for him. So I didn't get all this work to find out. And it's just like kids. In that case, if we have to evolve from that thought process as a crab, because that's a kid mentality, because a kid just, I want, to find out, oh, I don't really want that no more. We have to evolve our mindset. We have to have a renewing of the mind. And, you know, I've learned a lot over these past 5 years as it pertains to being a man, being a business person. Right. And I think that I'm all about adding the technical, getting to the technical side of business and having the real conversations about specifically how to grow your business. Right. And then, you know, I mean, if you think about the environment we're in, a lot of our headquarters, a lot of businesses are just headquarters. Like you take a Human Kinetics, most of their business is done outside the city. So why can't that be us?
That's true.
You know, why can't you have a restaurant that serves a multiple function? You have a place where you serve physical products, and then you have an online portion, as you talked about, Mark. That's another stream that you can send your customer. Now you have a worldwide business based in Champaign County. Yeah. So you have a business.
Think local, act global.
Come on now. They doing it. Yeah. They do it. They're actually, and then you go to, like, when you start studying the environment, you move around. See, we urban people. So, you know, we talk, like, I'm from the city, so I only know urban. Then I come to Champaign and they're like, we urban. And then all of a sudden I'm like, let me go out to this country. Why would anybody want to live in the country? And then you start looking at that land. You be like, man. Then you start looking at property taxes. You're like, whoa, wait a second. What are those things called property taxes? And then you start strategizing and you start thinking in your mind, putting together a plan, asking God, you know, hey, how do we do this? How can you enable me to do this, and this? You start observing, like, why would anybody want to live in Rantoul? Because people say Rantoul, but all Rantoul is not. You like, oh shoot, they done built this big old house, and they got acres of land, little dog just running around, roof, you know, having a great time. You know, we stuck on, like, we trying to fight for a little piece of land. The dog just run from one side, like roof, you know, can't even stretch his legs. Yeah. But it's understanding. I mean, I know we're going over, but it really is understanding. The people perish for lack of knowledge, you know, having a vision, you know, understanding, like I said, you know, God made us equal. So whether just because a white man or whatever man think that he bigger and badder, you know what? That's what your thoughts are. You can kick bricks, you know, because I'm not going to believe that about myself. I refuse to believe that about myself. Just because your belief system of me is not going to change my belief system of me. And I think that too often we spend more time like, you know what? We understand racism exists. But now we got to get to the technical work of getting our community and being okay with us, you know, being okay with us. Right. Like, I'm okay with me. I'm a north end. My kids live on the north end of town, and they ain't rushing to go anywhere else.
That takes some getting to know yourself. That's where the whole philosophy of Tygar come in at. It's not about hubris or braggadocious or anything like that. It's about transformation, growth, resolution. It's about rechanging your thinking, you accepting yourself as yourself. I personally, I had to get on a personal level with that due to, you know, the incident which left me paralyzed, right? So I actually created an alter ego that's outside of the other ego that allow me to push back. Just like you say, who are you to tell me what to do? You know, I go back, I do what I want to do. So that whole redefining yourself, that takes a stronger mind that we have to get there. We have to get these individuals there. Right now, they're functioning on a, like you said, they're functioning on a
primal level.
Yeah, they got to get there. We're gonna have to get them there. We're gonna have to get them to that next level, even in the business. We got to get them there.
Mark, let me Mark attest. Mark, no, I'm not just showing fluff. We got to be in love with where God has us. Listen, all my years, people been talking about the north end of town, how bad it is, right?
Right.
Every Saturday at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock, you got whites, Asians, Hispanics, they all playing basketball on Douglas Court. You might see 2 blacks out there.
If that.
And that thing blew my mind because I was like, wait a second, hold on. I thought this was the, you know, we the boogeyman is black. Then check, this really blew me up. This blew my mind. I saw a white dude. He was walking his dog. I mean, you know, walking the dog. He wasn't running. He was walking the dog right in Douglas. Dog was like, roof, roof, roof. I'm like, whoa. And so then I started thinking, wait a second, we are around some resources here. And we might be, there are some things that we have that we're not even capitalizing on. And I know we're beyond our time. We have a school, Booker T. Washington. Yeah. Then we have a library. That library, when you start talking about building communities, we have a library. How many communities got their own library? We got one. Bam. Then we got a park. With trails. Douglas. This is Douglas.
Right.
We got then 10 minutes. You're 5 to 10 minutes. You're in the downtown area. Then less than a mile, you on the expressway. Expressway travel. You can travel anywhere in the city, and this is off of Bradley Avenue. Like we gotta be thinking about this stuff. Like, what's the city talking about? They're talking about the Yard Project. Now we got access to entertainment. Like, we can help. I don't do hockey. Neither do I. But guess what? We can participate in the conversation. Hey, while y'all doing the hockey, this is what we want to see as well. Like, forget all that whole thing.
I've been asking what businesses is going to be around this proposed hockey arena.
Hey,
that's where the real money going to be at.
And then
let me leave you with this thought, Kyle. We got to get from moving products to moving terabytes.
Hey, I'm not going. I know where you're going with this one, and let's go. You know I'm a talker. I'm gonna shut up because I don't want y'all not to invite me back on. But I was just looking at. We were talking about Genius Stock, and they were talking about NFTs. NFT. I didn't know what an NFT was.
Oh yeah. NFT art, man. Crypto art is big now.
Man.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's growing. See, this is something we got to catch up on, man. Non-fund transferable tokens, the NFT. We need to know about these. You know?
Hey, man, didn't nobody tell me about the NFTs, man.
Blockchain, all that. Terabytes. Let's get off.
Right. They didn't tell me about
that. As a business owner, just think what you could do instead of selling one product at a time, instead of selling millions at a time.
Hey, they didn't tell me about the NFTs. I'm just gonna tell you, like I'm not gonna lie. Like we're free. We're not slaves. You know, maybe we got challenges, but we can read now. We can go research.
Yeah. So all that really boils down to is if you change your way of thinking, you can change your positioning.
That's right. Right. See, now you get the philosophy of Tygar motivation. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's just about changing your thinking, man. The power's in you. It's up to you. Everything with Will.
Right. You ain't got to worry about being just like somebody else.
That's right.
Hey, listen, this what blew my mind, and I got to get out of here, guys, because I know you guys are going. This what blew my mind about business. This what blew my mind, and that's why I love what God has put in my heart and what we're going to see in the future. So I had an opportunity. I was blessed the opportunity to go tour the United Center with the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce, and I've never been to a basketball, like I've never been to a Bulls basketball game, but I got to tour the facility, and as a chamber, you know, I didn't even know about this whole business called basketball. Like this is a business. Like let's not like them 10 dudes on the floor.
Yeah.
Like them 10 guys on the floor, they get paid so much because
that's the product.
And so I go into this room. They call it the red and black room. And the only way you can get into this room is if you got courtside tickets.
Okay.
And that blew my mind because I'm thinking like, who has $10,000 for a game? Game?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it blew my mind. It blew my mind when I started looking at the. I remember years ago I read it in the paper, and this is where you should think about your value as a black person. When I looked at the paper and the News Gazette, it said that the U of I basketball team and the football team aren't doing well. So it was basically, I'm paraphrasing, they're saying that the basketball and the football team connected. The connection was that because we're not doing well, it's from a game standpoint. It also fed into the economics of the town, the city.
Right.
And that blew my mind. That really blew my mind.
Yeah, it's all connected, man. It's all connected. So, look, brother, it's been a pleasure. I got to say, I know you said you had to roll. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure being here.
Yep. This is Conscious Community Connection, where we keep the community connected. This is Tygar Motivation. Me here with Mr. Will Kyles, Black Chamber of Commerce. Mark Pelmore, his screen is dark, but he's there. Business Elevator. And this is the first week in every month, and we want to cover business ideas because it's up to us to make this change. This change
yes,
it wasn't your thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. It was in your
hey, Mark, we can hear you.
On the cabinet thingy.
I don't know if he can hear us. Mark having the whole conversation.
Well, thank you for having me. If anybody wants to learn more about the Champaign County Black Chamber of Commerce and Connect, number is 217-552-3625, 217-552-3625. Email wkyles@ilbcc.org, wkyles@ilb as in Bravo, cc.org. You can inbox us on the Facebook page, and you can also check out our website. And we just want to we really want to talk about the technicals and let's participate and grow together.
Hey, Will, can you put that in the chat box down there, that info?
All right, I will.
Let me see if I can do it right quick, man, because I want to add
that.
Because you see a lot of people go back and review these, and when they review them, they could get it. You see how, can you get to it?
I did. I'm writing our website.
Yeah, put it all on there, man. I appreciate that. Because that way, you know, we got what we call a university here, and we try to keep them. We try to keep the people abreast and connected as well as educated. And every now and then we entertain them. You know, might crack a joke too here, but it's all in relation to moving this whole thing forward, man.
Hey, I think this is knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And the application of knowledge is even more powerful.
Hey man, you know, you're welcome to come back on anytime, man. Every first week we doing these. You more than welcome to come on, and you got an idea, you got something you ready to drop, or anything that you want the community to be aware of. It's on you, man. We really created this platform. I think he vanished out. Yep. But we created this platform for the public. You know, that way then, you know, if you got something, like I said, something to share, something to bring in, man, bring that in. And let's see what we can do, you know. But I appreciate you, brother Mark. Man, one of the busiest, man. This sun here, man, been moving in my face all day. I'm gonna have to make sure I cut these windows down next time.
All good.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I think he's trying
to get back in.
I think he's trying
Hey,
to
sorry
add.
about that. I exited out, but no, I would next time I come on, next time you all have me on, we'll raffle some products to Black business owners. We'll do that.
Let me see if
Do
I can
that live.
type that in. What's that phone number again? I'll put on there, Black. Let me put that. Let me see. Before we go through this real quick.
Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that I did the private chat.
What's up, Doc?
I didn't realize that I did the private chat.
Oh, you did the private chat? I didn't see it in the private chat.
Go.
Let me see.
Before you all get off,
yeah, I see it in private chat.
I don't see it. Oh, okay. Hold on. I got to go over here. I'm still learning this. I see private chat. Okay. Doc, what's up? My brother Doc, that's over there in I got it. Let me copy it. Brother Doc over there in Decatur, man. That's a good dude, man. He worked with a lot of the kids too over there. He do a lot of positive stuff. Doc, I got to get you on the show, man. So, all right, Will, I got it. I'm putting it in there.
All right.
Now.
Well, you all have a blessed one. I'm gonna head out and do some things before things close up. But
hey,
just want to
man,
say how much I appreciate and love you all, and pray y'all have a blessed one.
And I meant to say that too. This is Good Friday. Happy Easter to everybody out there who out there. I'm gonna watch 10 Commandments again for the umpteenth time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a classic. Same
That's
dude.
a classic, man. I'm telling you. When he come down with that perm, he got that perm and he come down there holding them big books.
Same dude.
Yeah, brother.
Same dude. Hey, y'all be blessed, and thank you all for having me on.
Hey, Will. Hey, man, come on anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Take care.
All right. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go in here and check out some things. And like you said, man, just enjoy the day. I'm putting all that information in there. I got his email. And that was a good conversation, man. I think he opened up the door on a lot of things that we need to look at. And actually, man, this is the work we're gonna have to do. It's up to us to put this work in, that's all I can say, man. So what you doing right now, building this out and connecting and bringing all these organizations together, this is going to be key, man, in moving this thing to the next direction and getting more of these young cats involved. We want to get the young guys involved, man. Show them how to start the businesses. Show them how to get it open. Show them how to invest, so they don't get to, by the time they get to middle age, they already have some in place. They don't have to be struggling, fighting. You don't have to die for this thing. And I think I'm going to leave it on that, man, because I like to close out on something positive. And I'm going to just say, you don't have to do this. There is other ways of obtaining resources without taking unnecessary chances that will land you either in jail or, just gone for nothing, man. These people are already looking for some reason to put you away. You don't have to give it to them. That's all. What you got to say, Mark? What you want to leave them on?
Yeah, that's some good stuff, Tygar. Your choices. And we talk all the time about instant gratification and delayed gratification. But most importantly, to be a man or be a woman takes work. Just because you turn 28 don't mean you no man or no woman.
That's right.
So put in that work on the front end so you can enjoy it on the back end.
All right, man. That's some positive stuff. I know my man Doc agree with that. Doc is watching, man. I know he agree with that. This brother always be leaving some wisdom. I'm following him a lot on Doc, man. You can follow him a lot on whatchamacallit, man, on Facebook. But you wanna get them thinking. So, well, with that said, brother, I'm gonna let you enjoy your Easter weekend, and I'm gonna get up in here, man, and I gotta do some work. I gotta like them taxes he was talking about. I gotta finish up on these other ones, man. I just turned in a lot more. I got still more to do, so I'm working, man. I'm not even. Hey, you already know we on.
Yeah,
Yeah, we ain't got time.
no sir.
What they call that? Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Trust me, when I get through with this, you're gonna find me on the beach somewhere, and you're gonna see some pictures of me, and I'm gonna have them some thick chicks with some bikinis on. That's all you need to know.
So, I hear you, brother.
For real. I'm for real, man. I'm gonna do it. I promise you. So, all right, y'all. This is out. This is again Conscious Community Connection. Views expressed here are those my views of being on the beach with some thick chicks on the beach, nobody else's. 104.5, not of WRFU, 104.5 FM, which is a socialist forum. And these are strictly our views, man. So you can hear us here every weekend. Again, the first weekend every month, we want to cover some business things that's going on. And I believe by next month, Mark, you got something coming up, right?
Yes, sir. We'll be on it.
Okay, what's going on real quick? Go ahead, plug it, man. What's coming up?
So we have a digital platform coming out. We're in the construction stages right now. It'll be launched probably, if not by the end of April, by the first or second week of May. And what it'll do is it'll create the hub for all these Black-owned businesses to actually join the ecosystem and have access to other Black businesses, other Black services, not only here in Champaign, but there's, ways that you can connect the businesses all across the globe.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. That's what's up. And you got classes coming up too, right? The business elevator classes be starting, right?
Yeah. Our next cohort is kind of coinciding with the launch of the new system. Okay. So late March, early May. The day hasn't been locked down, but what we're trying to do is complete that 6 to 8 week course by Juneteenth, so we can have an end cap program for Juneteenth.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I think my man Doc, he left something here. I like that, man. Let's go with that. What Doc said before we go, he said, I do not agree with gun drives only in areas that are mostly populated by diaspora people. Why? Doc, that's a whole, we're going to do a whole show around that, man. I'm going to contact you.
Yeah, they did that there in
Decatur. Okay,
that's supporting that whole Black on Black crime thing when they don't support the whole white on white crime thing.
Right.
So
it's a good book. It's called Blacks with Guns. And the guy who wrote that book was man, he was the one who had a lot of that, who set that up. Matter of fact, man, I'm gonna get in touch with you. We're gonna talk about that, Doc, and we'll see about doing a show on that. But other than that, people, we are out. We out, y'all. All right. Hold on, Mark.